Here's the latest news from the Caucasus Neighborhood. Tensions in Turkey have soared after protesters were forcibly evicted from Taksim Square over the weekend. Bulldozers removed barricades and the square was completely sealed off after the protesters were pushed out with the tear gas and water cannons, which has become a familiar sight in Istanbul. Protesters were continuing to head towards the square despite police attempts to deter them. A rally led by embattled Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan drew hundreds of thousands on Sunday, though the Prime Minister denies it is in response to the protests. The New York Times reported on the reluctance of Kurds in Turkey to join in the Taksim Square protests. Kurds, who constitute 20% of Turkey's population and often take part in anti-government protests, have been mostly absent from these. This reluctance is related to the recent ceasefire with the Kurdistan Workers' Party and concern over how this new instability will affect the peace process between Kurds and the Turkish state. Kurdish leaders fear that ultranationalist groups could exploit the protests to undermine Kurdish interests and identity within Turkey. Iran has elected a new president to replace hardliner Mahmoud Ahmadinejad and seems to have chosen a new course. Reformist-backed cleric Hassan Rouhani has won outright with just over 50% of the vote and has been congratulated on his victory by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Khamenei is expected to ratify the vote on August 3rd, at which point Rouhani will be sworn into office. Rouhani campaigned on greater engagement with the West. He has described his victory as one for wisdom and moderation over extremism. Voice of America reported this week on the possibility of the Nagorno-Karabakh war resuming as a result of the passionate campaign rhetoric, which will no doubt emanate from Azerbaijan in the run-up to its presidential elections in October. Chairman of Karabakh's National Assembly Ashot Ghoulian expressed his fears about what he called Azerbaijan's anti-Armenian hysteria, the arms race, and Azerbaijan's military budget of $4 billion. While most experts do not think Azerbaijan would make a planned assault on Karabakh, the danger of war by accident or miscalculation is very real, especially as diplomacy on the issue has stalled. The other frozen conflicts in the Caucasus also became more tense this week, as Georgian President Mikhail Saakashvili warned that Russia is pushing its line of control over parts of South Ossetia deeper into Georgian areas. He said that Russia's aggressive actions are directly proportional to Georgia's soft rhetoric. He called on his opponents from Prime Minister Bidzina Ivanishvili's Georgian Dream Coalition, who control the legislative branch and are seen as more sympathetic to Russia, to join him in reaffirming a strong stance in light of these tests of the Georgian government's firmness on what he called the occupation line. And that's the latest news from the Caucasus Neighborhood.